Have you ever had a moment when your heart stopped just because you saw someone so beautiful? This isn't a mere rhetorical question, but a glimpse into David's world. Picture this. It was David's first day of high school. The nervousness was palpable. Not because he was stepping into a new academic phase, but because he was in a different section, far from the comfort of his friends. The school was co-ed, but the sections were strictly segregated by gender. David found himself in the boys' section while the girls were in another, but the universe, in its mysterious ways, had a different plan. Amidst the sea of unfamiliar faces, he spotted her, a girl who embodied an ethereal beauty that made his heart skip a beat. David was smitten, struck by the arrow of Cupid. The rest of the day, his mind was enveloped in her thoughts. Every passing period, every tick of the clock, he would hope for another glimpse of her. He was captivated, enchanted by the mystery girl who had unintentionally stirred his heart. His heart fluttered with a new emotion, a feeling so profound yet so unexplored. He knew it was love, the kind that is one-sided, the kind that is filled with longing. And so, with one fleeting glance, a seed of one-sided love was sown. Little did he know, this was just the beginning of a journey filled with the sweet pain of unrequited love. Opening. What would you do if you saw an angel and then lost her in the crowd? Enter David, a humble, one-sided lover caught in a whirlwind of emotions. This is not just a story of love, but also a tale of a shy young man's quest to find a beautiful enigma. After that first magical encounter, David was consumed by a desire to see her again, to know her name, to speak to her. But how could he, when the mere thought of approaching a girl sent shivers down his spine? His shyness wasn't just a character trait. It was a barrier that stood between him and the mystery girl. It amplified his desperation, adding layers of complexity to his search. Each day he would go to school with a glimmer of hope in his heart, only to be met with disappointment. He'd scan every face, hoping to find her in the sea of students, but she remained elusive. The days turned into weeks, the weeks into months. 2 long months of anticipation, hope, and countless what-ifs. His heart ached with longing, his mind filled with images of the girl he had lost in the crowd. But he didn't give up, for he knew that love, especially one-sided love, is never easy. It's a journey filled with obstacles, a test of patience and perseverance. Closing, 2 months passed, and our hero was still on a quest to find his mysterious maiden. Have you ever been forced to change a habit only to realize that it was the best thing that could have happened to you? Well, that's exactly what happened to me. There was this intra-class cultural competition at school, a vibrant display of talents, a flurry of activities, and a chance for everyone to shine. But there was a catch, a mandatory attendance rule. The school decided that being punctual was part of the competition and latecomers would miss their mark on the attendance register. For someone like me who cherished the extra minutes of sleep in the morning more than anything else, this was a nightmare. The thought of dragging myself out of bed and rushing to school was far from appealing, but rules are rules, and I found myself reluctantly setting the alarm clock to a time I thought was reserved for birds and bakers. One chilly morning, I managed to break free from the warm embrace of my bed and trudge my way to school. The campus was still waking up, the hallways echoing with the soft whispers of early morning. I reached the assembly ground and there she was, standing on the stage set up for the competition. The mysterious girl, the one who had been occupying my thoughts for weeks. Time seemed to slow down as my eyes met hers. She was more beautiful than I remembered, bathed in the soft morning light, her eyes sparkling with life. It was a moment that felt like it was plucked straight out of a dream. The girl who had been a figment of my imagination was now standing right in front of me, as real as the morning sun. I felt a surge of joy, a sense of relief, and a pinch of nervousness all at once. It was as if the universe had conspired to bring us together at that very moment. Sometimes life pushes you out of your comfort zone, but it's in those moments that you might just find what you've been looking for. Have you ever embarked on a journey of love only to realize that it was one-sided all along? This is the story of David, a self-proclaimed one-sided lover. His tale is not one of heartbreak and despair, but rather a story of growth, understanding, and the unexpected wisdom that comes from unrequited love. David's journey began with an unexpected encounter, a fleeting glimpse of a girl who stirred emotions within him he had never known. He was smitten, and so began his quest. a search fueled by the potent cocktail of youthful infatuation and curiosity. For 2 whole months, David scoured his school, his heart aching with the longing to see her again. His patience was tested, his resolve was questioned, but he never gave up. He learned the first lesson of his journey: patience. Love is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It needs time to bloom, to mature, to become something more profound than mere infatuation. The cultural competition at school brought David a glimmer of hope. He saw her again, but this time, he was not the shy boy afraid of his feelings. He had grown, evolved. He had learned to channel his emotions, to use them as a source of strength rather than a weakness. This was his second lesson: self-growth. Love, even when one-sided, has the power to transform us, to make us better versions of ourselves. David's journey of one-sided love was a roller coaster of emotions. But through it all, he learned about love, patience, and self-growth. His experience shaped him, molded him into a person who understood the true essence of love. It's not about possession, it's about appreciation. It's about cherishing the feelings, the memories, even if they are not reciprocated. In the end, it wasn't about winning her heart, but about understanding his own, and that's the beauty of one-sided love. Even though David's love story didn't have a fairy tale ending, it had something far more valuable: lessons learned, wisdom gained, and a heart that knew how to love, unconditionally and selflessly.